Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on Sejuta Sports Channel. And today we're going to be talking about a big heavyweight title fight Saturday evening in Los Angeles, the City of Angels, in the Staples Center, which isn't Las Vegas and it's not Madison Square Garden in New York, but it has some memories for us as South Africans because that's where our own Corey Sanders took on Vitaly Klitschko many years ago for the vacant WBC heavyweight championship of the world. Now, two guys are going to be fighting for that very same belt on Saturday when the bronze bomber Deontay Wilder will be defending it against the lineal champion. That means he's never lost it in the ring, Tyson Fury from the UK. Is it going to be an exciting fight like Klitschko against Corey Sanders was? That was a real slam-bang affair with some moments of drama early on. Well, I don't know. There's many possibilities. We simply don't know how Wilder and Fury is going to turn out on Saturday night. I think the ending might be a bit more abrupt, and I think there's going to be more nuances and more layers to it. On paper, it looks like a can't-miss matchup because you've got guys that have a lot of similarities. Both of them are undefeated. Wilder is 14-0 with 39 knockouts. Fury on the other side 27-0 with 19 knockouts. Both are really, really big men. Fury stands a staggering 6'9" in his socks, the reach of 85 inches. Wilder is not far behind, 6'7" and a reach of 83 inches. So two really, really big men, and also compelling characters outside of the ring. They're actually a promoter's dream because you don't really have to promote the fight. They sell it themselves. You can look on Twitter, you can go look on YouTube. There's been a lot of talk around this matchup. And that is also where it kind of ends, because style-wise, once inside that ring, they're very much different fighters. Now, Fury is the boxer in the setup. He's a unique sort of guy, especially for a heavyweight. He can switch it. He can box as comfortably from the orthodox stance as he can from the southpaw stance. And he's got a very good ring generalship. He's awkward as heck, and he's hard to hit. Exceptionally nimble, well coordinated for such a big guy. So he is clever and he's a stylistic nightmare. On the other hand, with Fury, he doesn't really knock guys out at the top level. He more or less makes them quit or stops them with the accumulation of punishment. He's not a very big puncher. And he's also been down in his career. Journeyman Nathan Pikix had him on the canvas early on, and then Steve Cunningham, ex-cruiserweight champion, much smaller guy, also made an hit to deck. If you are a bit chinny, that's big trouble against Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder has got the one-hitter quitter, as Doug Fisher from Ring Magazine likes to say. He's a very, very big puncher. Although I do think those times that Fury was hurt, it's more about a lack of concentration. I think he does get it together in the opposition. The level steps up. So we'll see what happens on Saturday night. And we also then can take a look at Deontay Wilder. Now Wilder, incredible knockout ratio. He went the distance for the first time in his title-winning effort against Bermane Stiverne. He went the distance there, a full 12-round distance. Up and until then, he's only been 4 rounds. That's the furthest he's gone, but he handled the distance admirably. He's done 7 successful title defenses. This will be his 8th time of defending the title against very so-so opposition. And he's been criticised for it, quite rightly so. But also, not all of it was his own fault. He was going to do his mandatory against Alexander Povetkin in his backyard in Russia, but then Povetkin failed a doping test and that match got scrapped. So I think Wilder fights up and down to the level of his opposition, but we found a lot out about him in his last fight because he took on Luis Ortiz, dangerous undefeated Cuban who nobody wants to fight. And a lot of questions were answered. At first, Ortiz was outboxing Wilder. He seemed a bit lost. You could hear the wheels turning in his head as he was thinking, how do I get to Ortiz? And then in the 5th, he broke through, hit Ortiz. Ortiz went down, but Ortiz got up. 7 rounds. In the 7th round, he hurt Wilder very badly with a counter right hook from his southpaw stance, and then he was pouring it on. And Wilder was tottering around on Queer Street, and he was very, very close to being knocked out himself. If that round had gone a little bit longer, we would have been talking about Ortiz versus Fury on Saturday night instead of Wilder versus Fury. But he managed to weather the storm in the 10th. He got through to Ortiz again, put him on the canvas heavily. Ortiz got up, but then he did that typical powerful burst finish that he does. Throw punches a bit wild, but he's dynamic. He's got you hurt, he takes you out, and that's what he did. He put Luis Ortiz on the canvas. So we know Wilder's chin is not the greatest, but it's not as bad as some people think. And he does have a heart, and he does have a will to get himself to a very, very difficult spot. So that's Wilder. Now, how can Fury win this fight? There's a very, very big question mark over him because, as we all know, he won the world title against Vladimir Klitschko in 2015. And then with a world at his feet, he went off a reservation, went on a 2.5-year-long drinking and cocaine binge, virgin to well over 300 pounds. And this year he finally got his act together, came back, lost the weight. In his first fight it was a bit of a pass. He fought an unknown cruiserweight called Sefer Seferi. None of us have even heard about him before that. Seferi decided to call it a day after 4 rounds. In his next fight in August he looked a lot better. The opposition was also a lot better. He took on Francesco Pianeta, former world title challenger. And he beat him easily over 10 rounds. And he looked a bit like the Fury of old. He was moving on his feet, he was fighting with orthodox, he was turning to southpaw, he was clowning around, he was making him miss, and basically just bamboozling him out of the fight. Although on as to qualify, there weren't a lot of aggression from Pianeta. It didn't really look like he was there to win. And he has lost 2 of his 3 fights before fighting Fury. He's even been stopped by Johnson, Kevin Johnson, no less, who's nothing more than a journeyman these days. So Fury will have to lift his game one more level if he's going to be successful to stay for center. Now he's still young, he's pretty, he looks very good, he's trimmed by his standards, he's motivated, he's confident. I think he is going to get back to the level what he was at, or very close to that he was at when he beat Vladimir Klitschko. So how does Fury win this fight? He's got to be Fury. He has got to circle off to his right, away from that long right hand of Deontay Wilder. That's a danger punch, although Wilder can nail you with anything. And then, of course, he's got to turn stances. He's got to make Wilder confused. Fight from the center of the ring, pepper him with a steady stream of jabs, some shots around the gloves, and just keep moving. Never allow Wilder to get set and run out of clock. If Wilder gets up close, he should hold on to him like an octopus. I don't think that's where he needs to give Wilder a chance. If he can do that, he can befuddle Wilder, give him a boxing lesson, and I won't be surprised if he can win it on points. Wilder, on the other hand, he mustn't fall into the trap of letting Fury get into his head. Because Fury is the kind of guy, he feints and kids his way sort of thing. He makes you think he's going to throw something that never comes. So I don't think Fury's got the power to really take Wilder out of it. Against Ortiz, he was super cautious. You could see him thinking, you mustn't make that mistake against Fury. Fury is not that kind of guy. I think he needs to take a few more chances. Be the aggressor. Fury is hard to hit with one shot, so I would say jab him to the chest, because you're going to struggle to reach him in the head. Jab him to the chest, a few long shots to the body, come over the top of a combination. Don't load up on single shots, because Fury is going to get out of the way. 3-4 punch combinations. Sooner or later, something is going to hit. That way, I think Wilder can put Fury down once or twice, turn the cards in his favor, or stop him. Now, I have to make a prediction, and what do I think is going to happen? I can see Fury winning this on points, and that would be a comeback for the ages, wouldn't it? And I can see Wilder just blasting Fury away. And then people, of course, say, Fury should have had another fight, he wasn't ready yet. And he's never going to get the credit for it. They may be right, they may be wrong. But I think what it's going to be, I think Fury is going to show Deontay Wilder fast sides that he's never seen before. And I think Wilder's going to have to set and reset. It will be a bit of an untidy fight. There are some clinches and pushing and shoving and falling over each other. And it's going to be one of those fights where the commentators are debating who's really ahead. Because you're going to have an You're going to have ineffective aggression by Wilder, an odd shot landing, and you're going to have a lot of spoiling and boxing with the lighter shots from Fury. But I think at a certain stage, Fury will slow down. He's not going to be able to stay out of Deontay Wilder's way forever, because although Klitschko was a much better technician, he works everything off a jab. Wilder can still land on you when he's not throwing the jab, and I think his right is going to reach you a little bit quicker than the Klitschko right. He's younger, he's more dynamic. I think at some point he's going to catch Tyson Fury, and when he does that, he's going to freeze him, and it's a good finish of a follow-up combination. He's going to put him to sleep, not in the Hotel California, like the Eagles say, but definitely on the canvas. Well, that's my take on the big heavyweight fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Please hit the subscribe button and also leave comments. Tell us what you think, and tune in to BuzzIn TV on the Sejuta Sports channel. My email should be on there. Send us comments, send us questions. We would like to talk to you. And also a big thank you to our host here at the Body Elite Gym in Stellenbosch. If you're in the Stellenbosch area, it's right above the Dross. Come here and train with him. Boxing can be fun, it can be good exercise. You don't necessarily need to get punched in the face. And there's also a big weight room there and some professional people to help you. Until then, keep those hands up.